Alright, the actual official trailer for Season 2 of The Witcher show on Netflix is out, and so we gotta talk about it.
What? I made new friends, get over it.
Truth be told, we already speculated about most of what is shown here, about Geralt fighting Vereena in the snow, Rience getting his face burned, the fight against the Leshen. There were small hints about all these things in the previous trailers, and now they're finally revealing everything.
Damn.
Actually, I think they went a little too far, revealing Vereena like that. On one hand, it's a bit of a spoiler. I mean, you guys who are watching this video likely don't care about spoilers, but if you've seen the trailer, you will immediately know that Vereena is some type of monster and that she and Geralt will fight, which I think is detrimental to the story. I suppose it depends on how they present it, but I think they should have left her out. In fact, prior to this trailer, they were very mysterious about her. They never showed her face, despite showing Nivellen a couple of times. We had a tiny glimpse of her bat form, which is also in full display now, and we briefly heard her voice in the last trailer. But here she is, screaming at Geralt, and he's countering it with what some of you might think is the Quen sign, but it's actually the Heliotrope. Funny how I talked about this exact thing and this scene in my very last video before watching this trailer, which by the way you should totally check out if you haven't. But anyway, who is this creature? Initially I thought it was Vereena, but it's not her. It's not a bat, it's a rather humanoid looking thing with wings, and Geralt is also wearing armor in this scene. In fact, he wears the same armor when he's shown killing this Nilfgaardian guy here. Now, this is supposed to be the part where Geralt, Ciri, Triss, and the Dwarves are traveling together, right? And the woman with the staff, I guess, looks a bit like Tissaia from a distance, but I doubt it's her. And now that I mentioned Triss, I wonder how they're going to portray her issues during this section. They'll probably skip through that part. And by the way, it is now revealed that the green-dressed woman from the previous trailers was indeed Triss. Could we get to see a bit of romance going on between her and Geralt at Kaer Morhen? Perhaps in flashbacks? And as for what's happening here, this is likely some kind of magically induced vision or a dream or something in an attempt to figure out what's going with Ciri. That's what I think. But back on topic, what's with this creature and the Nilfgaardians? Perhaps Geralt's party has some new adventures? Maybe Geralt and Ciri fight a monster and some Nilfgaardians along the way? It could also tie with the kidnapped Yennefer. Perhaps they will meet her as well, maybe in Sherwood, and then she's going to leave with Ciri to resume her training? Which, if true, means that we will likely never get the Dear Friend letters. And speaking of these letters, there's also the fact that Istrid is involved in this somehow. I speculated before that we'll see the Shard of Ice story, or some version of it, in Season 2, but I'm not so sure anymore. Perhaps he has something to do with Stregobor mentally abusing Yennefer at some point? Quite similar to what Tissaia was doing to Kair in the previous trailer. Tissaia herself also has a scene with potentially topless Yennefer, and I'm not entirely sure what all this is about, but I bet it's all related somehow. Also, who is this fiery lady? Another woman with the Curse of the Black Sun? Or perhaps some sort of fire divination magic to locate Yennefer? Or someone else? And about Yennefer once again, she has some more scenes with her kidnappers, where it sounds like Fringilla is trying to recruit the elves to the Nilfgaardian cause. Perhaps that's how they'll explain the whole alliance between the Scoia'Tael and the Black Ones. There's also this enchanted house, which looks kind of cool, but my final verdict about it will depend on whether or not it's poised atop chicken legs. Could this be where female Gontor Odim lives? Let me know what you think.
And never, ever let her feel as if you've sold her out.
What else do we have? I mentioned Rience or however his name is. I suppose I have a similar issue here to the one I had with Vereena. Why show his burnt face so soon? That sort of spoils the fact that he gets burned. What's more, the very next shot of the trailer is edited in such a way to conceal the fact that his face is burned. They only show the part of the scene where one of these guys is hiding the damaged half of his face, which is a cool thing to do in a trailer, but why bother doing it after it was just revealed? Did two different people edit this video? I don't know. Anyway, we'll get to see Geralt fighting Rience and his lackeys, hopefully without the music, which I find weird for the Witcher. There are no signs of Philippa Eilhart, but she will be making an appearance, I'm sure of it, so I'm looking forward to that. I also mentioned the Leshen. It looks to be a kind of female Leshen. It's facing Geralt and Ciri initially, but then I believe it gets all the way inside Kaer Morhen, possibly with other monsters or other beasts by its side, and this has got to be what all of these Witchers here are preparing to fight. They are clearly under the effect of the Uber Potion, let's call it. So far, in all of Netflix adaptations, Witchers only seem to have the one potion, which makes them get this zombie face and become stronger in every way, essentially. Now, the appearance is somewhat book accurate, minus the fully black eyes, but I hope they'll introduce some variety in Witcher potions in the future. Also, Geralt is wearing the same armor here as he does in those traveling scenes, so perhaps this fight at Kaer Morhen is right before they set off. And speaking of this Leshen, let me bring up the Vesemir anime once again. What are they going to do with the whole mutated monsters idea? Is this one of them? Did they all disappear? We'll have to wait and see, I guess. I just think it's too important of a detail to ignore. Okay, what else do we have? We have Coen and Lambert here. We have the remnants of the giant place of power, as I called it in Season 1. The city in the background should be Cintra, because this here is the hole in the ground which Ciri made while trying to escape from Cair. This city has got to be either Oxenfurt or Novigrad, and this one is Cintra once again. Actually, the first time I watched the trailer I thought that's Nilfgaard proper, because they show it while Fringilla is talking about the Empire, but I think the point is just to show that it's now under Nilfgaardian rule. This here is likely Oxenfurt once again, or Novigrad. This has to be Francesca Findabair, and is this the same person or is it a different one? Mother Neneke shows up for a brief moment. She was actually replaced by Triss in Season 1. It had to be her during these scenes, but they're bringing her back now. We also have a Witcher with an axe, using the Quen sign, and Dandelion with a couple of mice. I know at least one member of my Discord who will be delighted to watch that scene.
Jealous?
And that's about it. December 17th. By the looks of it, Season 2 will not be getting into the Time of Contempt book, or at least not far into it, from what I can tell, which is a good thing. They shouldn't rush too much, especially with all of the stuff they're adding. I'm curious to see where this goes. Looking forward to seeing Philippa, as I mentioned, as well as Dijkstra, and the female Gaunter O'Dim, perhaps Shani as well. We haven't seen any of them in these trailers, but they will be in the show too. So that's all I had. Let me know what you think of this, and I thank you very much for watching. Special thanks to my supporters and YouTube members, and until the next video, stay tuned and be good.